call him Teach. Nah, he's only teaching because he ain't doing. Just like the rest of them fancy pants professors. Now, if you want to get doing, take a shot at shovel button. Couldn't be easier. You get 5 pucks for 1 token, and you want to get your pucks into the places with the most points. You need 200 points to win. Be careful not to hit your own pucks. Now, get shuffling. Second chance. Last chance. Slick, you must have done this before. I love the last move. We still appreciate style around here, even if it's real scarce. 'Cause the park wasn't always a dump like you see today. But then, you know that. Me telling you's like teaching my grandmother to suck eggs. Now get on, and see if you can't help that girl find her daddy's deed. And remember, the best way to succeed is to keep trying.
Nice going. You beat the box. Not too many do. Sometimes it happens that way, but not often. As we say, the money's always here. It's just the pockets that change. Head straight on ahead. Whoa! Hey, we've already danced this dance. It wasn't all that great the first time. You need to head back in the other direction if you're planning to move ahead. Now, if you're just out for a stroll, hey, be my guest. Walk around the whole lake. I'll still be here when you get back, but the park might be gone.
Look, I wish that this was all about right and wrong. I wish it was that easy. But I am not going to let some old man decide my life for me. I've got too much at stake. And besides, I learned a long time ago that gray hair is a sign of old age, not wisdom. So why should we listen to him?
Yeah, nice to see you, dude. Here's a chance to show up that old saying about seeing and believing. You're gonna have to race the machine and move your little puppet up toward the top by clicking on the right squares. The problem is that the wiring's a little loose, so each time you move, the directions are gonna be different. The arrow always indicates north, but the color tells you the direction to move. You'll get a good feeling for what we call trial by error. Anyway, you also gotta beat the other dude to the halfway, or you'll have to wait for him. It's not a good thing, dude. So give me 2 tokens, take your position. Round 2. Yeah, I finally did it. I tried to tell you that you could, but talking to you is like talking to the radio. You were so wrapped up in the game, I'm not even sure you noticed Sheila walking by. She's really the one who's run the place for the last few years. I always thought Champ would put her in charge when he went. I don't know now, though, with the deed gone and all. But that's one lady no one should miss. Dude, I'd check her out if you get a chance. Not that she'd give most of you the time of day, but you could get lucky. After all, you won this game, so who knows?
Yeah, I guess you caught me way off base. This is my regular turf, but I hang here sometimes just to watch the pros. They were my idols once, but these days, future ain't what it used to be. Never worried about yesterday or tomorrow when I was younger, but I find myself looking over my shoulder and just wondering where the time has gone. It's like it's all been so much wasted time.